Hey now, everybody. How is everyone doing on this fine, fine day? Welcome back to another installment of Cocktails from Home with me, Jay Rose from annnnnd Distributing, and my cohort, counterpart, co-worker, Deirdre Shosha, up in Central Jersey, where I'm told it's about to start storming. Deirdre, how are you this afternoon?
I'm good. Hearing the thunder rolling in, waiting for the sky to open up, which seems to be a daily occurrence now.
It's a daily occurrence now that we're a tropical destination, you know? Every time I walk outside, I feel like I'm walking into the rainforest, or it feels like I'm opening an oven door to walk outside. It's quite a situation. The weather has been terrible, but you don't need me to give you the weather. However, speaking of the tropics, we've been kicking around some ideas for drinks, and summertime screams for rum. I know a lot of times people don't gravitate to the rum, but this is going to be our third rum drink, and we're going to make something today that's using Hamilton Navy Strength Rum. What the hell is Navy Strength Rum? We're going to get into it, but first let's talk about Ed Hamilton. Ed Hamilton is a guy who spent his life traveling the tropics, I guess, as it were. Rebuilding boats, selling boats, barges, you name it. He's constantly on the water, and rum happens to be his favorite drink. He's constantly in the Caribbean. He came across some distilleries that are making killer product down there, better than anything that's being made up here in the States. And he got the wild idea, because he's a wild man, he got the wild idea to start importing them into the States and selling them under his name, Hamilton Rum. So that's what we have here today. It's the Navy Strength. And since we're stuck basically in our wherever we're at, we're not going on vacation. Nobody is. Nobody's going to Jamaica. Nobody's going to the tropics. But it sure as hell feels like it outside. We're going to bring the tropics and the Caribbean to you today with this drink. We're going to do a painkiller. Now, this is a little outside of the scope of my expertise. It took a lot of prep work, but that's fine because I think the final product is going to be absolutely dynamite. I'm going to toss it over to Dee so we can talk a little bit about Navy Strength Rum, what it is, why it exists, and what the applications are. Dee, what's going on here with this Navy Strength Rum?
Okay, so Navy Strength Rum, you talked a little bit about the rum category. Rum is one of the oldest spirits that we see in print, that we see be working with. It's been distilled, in the Caribbean for quite some time now. You mentioned several of the islands. And when the British Royal Navy would come over to the colonies, they would purchase rum, traditionally in the islands of Jamaica, Guyana, and Trinidad. So when they were purchasing their rum, they wanted to always make sure, for the long boat ride home, that they weren't being swindled into buying some watered down version of what they were looking for. So in order to prove that the rum was up to snuff, they would mix it with a little bit of gunpowder and light it. If it lit, that meant that it was at least 57% alcohol. Wow. So today, in order for it to be categorized as a Navy Strength Rum, it has to be 114 proof, so it's overproof at 57%. And it is usually always from those islands, a dark, hot, stilled rum from Jamaica, Guyana, Trinidad. And that's what Ed's rum is, because he is nothing if not knowledgeable about what these categories entail. So his rum is a 60-40 blend of Jamaican and Guyanese rum, proofed to 114%. And it's just spectacular. And it is perfect for the drink that we're going to make today, because that's what these kind of rums are used for.
Yeah, so this particular one, like you said, he's using 60% rum from Guyana that is 154 proof. He's mixing that with 40% Jamaican that is 170 proof. He lets those sit, they stir them together for 2 straight days before they are proofed down to 114 using some filtered well water. Brings it down to 114. I've tried it on its own, and I gotta say, for being 114, it does not burn the enamel off my teeth, which is a positive, because a lot of times with this overproof stuff, you really know you're drinking some overproof stuff. Definitely some interesting tasting notes. a little bit of spice, some tobacco, some smoked oak, believe it or not, even though there's no smoke and there's no oak happening in this situation, somehow this liquid manages to impart that flavor. And a little bit of West Indian banana, which I'm gathering is different than regular banana, but I don't know how. But I get that too. So let's construct a painkiller. Dee, what are we doing here?
So a painkiller was invented in the 1970s in the British Virgin Islands, St. Jost, by a woman named Daphne Henderson at the Soggy Dollar Bar. The Soggy Dollar Bar is one of those iconic island bars. It's a swim up. People come in there with their huge sailboats and they kind of park and swim through the bay to get to the Soggy Dollar Bar. And she invented this drink that is kind of the cousin of a pina colada.
Okay.
When you make drinks like this, island drinks, they tend to have a lot of ingredients, a lot of flavor, and you want a rum that's going to kind of stand up to that. So that's kind of, I get a lot of questions about why would I use overproof rum? Why would I, use something like this? So that it stands up to all those other ingredients. This drink was traditionally made and trademarked by a brand called Pusser's Rum. But we're going to make it with Ed's rum because we love it and we love it. Variations on this drink are levels of the rum. So you can make it with 2 ounces, 3 ounces, 4 ounces.
Oh boy.
They joke depending on how much pain you're in. Today we're going to use 2 ounces of the rum today. We're not going to go too crazy. So we're going to start with our small shaker. Okay. No ice. We're going to build a drink in here. We're going to use 2 ounces of Ed's fabulous Navy Strength Rum.
Got it.
Okay. Then we are going to use 4 ounces of pineapple juice.
Gotcha. Down the hatch.
Now, in the islands, they're using, fresh pineapple juice. If you can procure that, go for it. If not, do what you got, all right?
You get that Dole can that you have to use the church key to pop open. That's what I got.
1 ounce of orange juice. I do recommend fresh squeezed orange juice.
I fresh squeezed.
If you can't do it, you gotta.
Yep.
And then here's where I vary it a little bit.
What do you got?
So we're going to use 1 ounce of coconut cream. The traditional recipe does call for cream of coconut, that's sweet, kind of thick cream. But I prefer just fresh, unsweetened coconut cream.
Okay.
My palate definitely skews to less sweet, so that's my personal preference.
Gotcha.
If you want it to be a little bit sweeter, a little bit more reminiscent of the pina colada, then by all means go buy that can of Coco Lopez and go for it.
Right, because you got to figure with the orange juice and the pineapple juice, that's going to be a sugar bomb already. So I mean, if sweet drinks are your thing, go for it and get that Coco Lopez. But for our taste, sweet drinks kind of, I don't want to say turn me off, but I'd rather have something with a little more complexity than just a sugar bomb. So that's why we're using what we're using.
We're then going to take our large shaker tin and fill it about halfway up with ice.
Right.
We're going to combine those.
Okay.
Shake.
A lot of liquid in this one.
Once that's all frothy and shaken together, we are now going to use crushed ice.
Gotcha.
I have my handy dandy Lewis bag. This is just a canvas bag that you fill with ice. And you have this lovely mallet. And you crush the ice with it. Jay, you have something different.
Well, I took a ShopRite bag outside, filled with ice, and I smashed it against the concrete about 10 times, and I ended up with crushed ice also. Just a different variety of crushed ice, you know? And now it's all sticking to my hands, and your method is probably a whole lot more effective and better looking than mine. Comes with the territory. What a mess. Back in the fridge it goes.
We're now going to cage our shaker tin with our handy dandy strainer.
Gotcha.
And then strain that over our crushed ice.
Oh, wow.
I'm then just going to top it with a teeny bit more ice.
Look at
A very important part of the drink then to finish is going to be nutmeg. So we're going to take, I use fresh nutmeg and grate it. If you can't do that, obviously, you do what you gotta. But I just do the nutmeg and then just grate a decent amount of that over the top.
I did that beforehand, and I'm just kind of using my fingers and sprinkling it on. So now I've got nutmeg on my hands. All good. Man.
I'm going to garnish it because I like it to look nice and tropical.
Yeah.
With a little pineapple wedge. Get myself a straw. And there you have a Painkiller. And today you can pretend like you're at the Soggy Dollar Bar drinking your Painkiller.
We go pinkies out with this one?
What do you think?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, that makes the soupy weather a whole lot more tolerable. Oh man. Great job, Dee. This really hits the spot on a day like today. So yeah, thanks, Dee, for showing us how to bring the tropics right to our own backyard. Appreciate you. And we'll catch up with you all next time. Not sure what we're gonna make. We'll figure it out when we get there. Enjoy your drinks.